Okay, welcome back to Agenda. and it is now 9:05. You are watching us via Signal TV, channels 8 and 250. Next up, we have with us a gentleman who is president of MySolid Tech, a technology company under the Solid Group Incorporated, a publicly listed company since 1996. The group has been in electronics business of manufacturing and distributing some of the world's biggest electronics brands. Let's bring in David Lim.
Good morning. Good morning, Cito.
Good morning,
Long time no
David.
see.
Okay, just for transparency, ladies and gentlemen, David Lim was my boss under Solid Philippines, where, if you remember, David, I remember we launched Walkman together, walking around Ayala Avenue with the Walkman and sampling it with people
Right.
around. Okay, now.
Memory lane.
Yeah, memory lane. No, but I'm bringing that up because just so people understand how far we go into technology. Because I remember it was Sony that developed the first transistor, came up with radios, came up with TV, and now you're still in the same line, but now you are proposing technology in relation to the challenge of educating all our far-flung located students under COVID-19.
Yeah.
Okay, now may I know what exactly is your proposal? You're talking about a national distance learning system for DepEd called Knowledge Exchange. What's your idea?
No, thank you first of all, Cito, for getting me on air and giving us a chance to find our voice. You know, our group, we are always finding our voice if we feel that something we could do there to help the government and to empower our Filipino people. What worried me was when I saw solutions being thrown to the president on using tablets and internet and worst of all using radio. That's practically 1950s technology. And but the technology is here. The technology of direct TV is probably one of the best means of um, technology of reaching as many. Just to let you know that there are about 90% of homes here has a television set.
Mhm.
The technology of direct TV, all you need is a TV and electricity. And the setup boxes that you put there can go as low as less than 1,500 peso, much cheaper than what they're proposing using tablets, right? I've been getting a lot of requests because I also launched my phone a few years back, and we're known to be a massa phone, and definitely tablet is in that same line of product line where every governor and LGU, even the churches are calling me for tablets, and I'm sort of worried because I've been working from home. My group has been working from home for the last 3 years because of the traffic situation, and not one meeting I get a decent connectivity. Not one meeting I get a decent connectivity. So what will happen? Basically, you're giving these kids a particular tablet where they will never be able to enjoy the lessons. And I don't know if they have a strategy, right? So
Mhm.
what we're proposing is that actually the government, it's time, from the time of Gloria Macapagal, they were talking about a national broadband network. And this is my contention. Broadcast and broadband will coexist in the coming years. And our NTC is practically so telco centric that they've forgotten about broadcast. And broadcast is the ideal, DirecTV is the ideal platform because we have 7,000 islands. it's practically impossible to wire everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's impossible to wire everything. Where DirecTV can reach the, I could do a demo in a week where we can send a signal to to Tawi Tawi or to any far-flung area where the knowledge exchange is a suggestion that the government take this particular opportunity and build a world-class knowledge center rather than putting up just to survive, wasting our taxpayers' money in something that is only looking at 1 year or maybe 2 years, depending on how the coronavirus feels. If
Mm-hmm.
he decides to leave in a year, it seems like they're only looking at that solution. Whereas the opportunity is now. This proposal that I'm doing was
Mm-hmm.
submitted by our group. It was a joint study by Sony and at that time, some of our undersecretary in DepEd. And at that particular time, and up to today, Cito,
Yeah.
our teachers are the weakest link. Our teachers are the weakest link.
Mm-hmm.
We designed this whole concept 25 years ago to empower our teachers with mentoring using DirecTV. They will be looking at videos the way the best teachers will be teaching the lesson. Here, we always look at education and broadcast as entertainment. You cannot just put a teacher on screen and expect them to be a great communicator. You need coaches. You need trainers teaching them how to communicate on TV. But here is the most important. The main objective of my proposal is that anything that the government spends should be democratizing. It should be democratizing. Democratizing education means that the most people, that nobody is left out, Cito.
Okay.
Whether you're poor, you're rich, you have the same quality curriculum and the
Mm-hmm.
same quality teachers that will be facing you every day and teaching you. And at the same time, during this particular period, there are people who ask me, what about the teachers? We have 800,000 teachers. I said, this is the time to coach them, to teach them, to put up not just a teacher's camp, but a teacher's knowledge exchange, wherein we can really build the best teachers there with the best coaches teaching the 800,000 teachers. As you know, everything is garbage in, garbage out, right?
Yeah.
25 years has passed and our standard has not improved. And maybe thanks to COVID, if this suggestion gets approved, I think maybe there's a chance that the Filipinos will have not only great students, but great teachers that are not only teaching the Filipinos, but maybe including other countries.
Let's clarify one point, David, because you mentioned the term broadcast, and in the Philippines, when you say broadcast, they basically think Channel Two, Channel Five,
Yes.
Channel Seven, but you're saying Direct TV.
Yeah.
Please explain Direct TV to our viewers.
Cito, direct TV or direct to home, this technology has been there for a long time. In
Hmm.
America, it's also a technology that is evolving in developed countries. It's dying, because on developed countries, their broadband infrastructure is very robust,
Mhm.
very stable. So, but in the Philippines, we're practically 20 years behind, Cito.
And we
This
are
technology,
7,000. We are also
yeah,
7,100 islands.
this technology uses the satellite. It
Mm.
uses a satellite and it uses the KU band. No, when we were in the satellite business years back, there was only the C band. Now the KU band, actually, Signal is the leader in KU band. It
Mhm.
requires a simple setup box connected to your TV with a small dish. Like I mentioned, this particular setup will not cost the government 1,500 pesos. But you can roll out through the dealers on mobile phone or electronic dealers where people can pick up the setup box and do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
We could roll this out in a matter of 3 to 4 months rather than forcing ourselves to go on air on August 24 because it says it's the first day of school and then rolling out a system that is um, very insufficient. And again, it pains me as a taxpayer. Cito, I'm not selling anything. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just proposing to the government what we proposed 25 years ago. Build our teachers, but at the same time, because of COVID, that students can learn what the teachers are learning in school. No, and again, the technology is there. No, again, when you talk of technology, Cito, that's only the hardware, correct?
Yeah. So,
The
but I,
software,
I
the
I think
software,
David, that's important that people understand that because
yeah,
with the satellite system or using a satellite technology, we can have these satellite dishes, which is actually they're already all over the Philippines, but they are for entertainment. We can
correct.
use the same thing for all the 30,000 or 40,000 barangays and public schools, put them all there and they're democratized, as you pointed out. So
Yeah.
hardware is there. The setup is fast and easy, not as fast as August 24, but by the year's end, we will have all of the technology in
all
place.
of the household, all of the household, 100% of household. This is where I'm leading at. Again, you have originally four direct TV companies. One of them is dead, right? And he was the original. Today, we have the three remaining satellite company. They're all private. They're
Mhm.
selling only cable TV where programs, again, so I'm suggesting who does the government give the subscribers to? It's going to be a big fight. Signal is going to say you give the subscribers to me, and then global satellite they say why are you giving it to them? And you have
Mhm.
Sky Direct TV also has its own platform. I
Mhm.
said this is the time for the government to put the first public broadcasting superhighway. When I say public, I don't compete with these three. Let them fight it out with the commercial. When I say public, it means that education, Cito, is just part of it.
Mhm.
We should put agriculture there. We should put sports. We could do health. We should put what Joey Concepcion is doing on
Mhm.
livelihood coaching. That's why
Mhm.
I said knowledge exchange. It's not only education, but other knowledge is education. And for the first time, I think the government will be able to have its first public broadcasting superhighway. In America, they have what they call PBS. It's all public. It's,
Yeah, the
and
the public broadcasting system.
right. So the Philippines needs one because the commercial channel will never give these content a chance because it costs money. You have to
Mhm.
pay for you have to pay for the satellite uplink, right?
Yeah.
Each channel there is a satellite cost to it. You think the private sector will give it for free? Only the government can do it. And it's the only system that can empower.
Well, that's interesting, David, because I mean, if you go to UP or the DOST, we've actually launched our own satellite. I mean, okay, it's a small box, but we've already done it. So
Yeah.
how impossible is it for the Philippine government to put up a satellite or uh,
No,
enroll one?
Cito,
Yeah.
what we have in terms of satellite is child's play, right? When you
Okay.
talk of a satellite, you talk of a really huge satellite. You're
Mhm.
probably talking a satellite that will cost minimum of 500 million US dollars,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And there are enough of satellites out there for us to lease just transponder spaces.
Okay.
Like if I'm to put grade 1 to grade 12, it will probably cost me 1 year 50 million. That's it. It's a fixed cost. Unlike internet, it's a variable cost. It's the more you consume, the more you pay.
Mhm.
Here, it's a fixed cost. There are questions, Cito, they ask me. What about interaction? I said, what is the interaction they're looking for in a time of pandemic, right?
Mhm.
And then they're saying, how do you take examinations? The blended learning, I've been reading about it. They were even talking about automatic passing the kids to the next level. To me, that is not fair. The kids have to learn discipline. They have to go sit down and learn and take their examinations. Examinations, you cannot keep the kids in the house 24 hours a day, 365, right?
Mhm.
They have to come out. And when they come out, Cito, the schools and the teacher can do proctoring for examination. Practice is still social distancing. Instead of having 100 people come to school, we break them down into 10, group of 10, and Jay's taking. Maybe in other countries they can take examinations online, but unfortunately here we still need the teachers to proctor and make sure that the person taking the exam is the guy that is sitting there, or else he'll have his elder brother sit there in place of him, right? Alam
No,
mo naman tayo dito.
don't bring up the past, my friend.
Yeah. No.
Okay. Yeah. So, well, very valid point. So, 50 million a year to rent space in the hundreds of satellites up in the sky. It will reach all 7,100
All seven,
islands.
it
And,
will reach, I would say, at least 80% of the students,
mhm.
even the poor. No?
Now, what about because sorry, I have a limited know-how on the system, but from with Signal, you basically pay for the dish, the box, and then you pay a monthly fee. What is
Yeah.
your proposal for government? Because
My proposal, Cito, here is
mm,
that the government is very rich, right? But unfortunately, sometimes, maybe I'm just being kind today, right? They
okay,
use it in the wrong place, right?
hmm,
The DepEd alone has 672 billion in budget, right?
mm,
The textbooks budget alone is no less than 13 billion. All of these government agencies that will be riding on this public broadcasting superhighway will have to subsidize. But I call it subsidized, but it's not exactly true. Cito, you're in advertising. If you have 25 students, million students watching you every single day for 280 days a year,
mm,
don't you think you can sell those spots wherein they are on recess? You know, the brands will love it coming in
hmm,
into those particular. They will come up with the creativity of even creating contests.
hmm,
Again, in broadcast, you cannot just expect them to sit there and watch. You have to incentivize them. I mentioned earlier, you have to train the teacher to how to teach on TV. Now, the advertising budget, you have to use it to create probably contests. You
hmm,
know, the Filipinos are suckers for contests. Hindi
hmm,
ba? May sayawan doon, may kantahan doon, kahit 100 piso lang, sasalihan nila. Correct?
mm, yeah.
And when you ask them, the funny thing is, this is how beautiful Filipinos are. They will say, dahil gusto ko matulungan ang pamilya ko. Right?
Mm,
By redirecting this alone, the kids will seek education because you have made it more interesting. And we have to learn from companies like Channel 7 and Channel 2. What is the secret to getting these people locked in? It's not a phenomenon that just because they have on air. Look at our government channel, for example. They can have all the network they have, but if their content is not going to be relevant or it's not going to be even entertaining, nobody's going to watch it. Nobody's going to watch it.
Okay, so you are proposing satellite, you're proposing that the government, but I suppose that using the system will actually save the government
A
more
lot,
money
a
from
lot.
having to pay for textbooks, etc., because
Correct.
the exchange, the knowledge exchange will already be providing the teaching and the learning on air.
Precisely, Cito. Basically the beauty with the setup box, it has an SD card where you can save the learnings for the day or even for the week or even for the month.
Ah, yeah,
So
yeah.
they can repeat it. There are cases wherein there are probably two kids studying in one household, but they only have one TV. What do you do? Lessons on direct to home will not be a whole day. Even in school today, in the public school environment, they have a morning class and an afternoon class,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah.
And they were taught the same thing. If I'm a grade one kid, I will tune in to channel one. My elder sister, who is in grade three, will wait. The government will just rerun the same thing. I can record it or I can take the lesson in another time slot. That's why I'm proposing that there has to be minimum of 12. See, so we're only talking about grade 1 to 12.
Mm,
We could do this for college. We could do this for commerce, for management, accounting.
mm,
All they need is one studio and then the best teachers there teaching the subject.
mhm.
The person at home who basically are prisoners of the virus will just tune in to whatever the channel is allocated for that particular lesson.
It's very interesting, David, because I am one of those who have been fighting and really criticizing the system because our public school kids carry books that are
Yeah,
so heavy every day, number one. And number two, even in private schools, children are forced to wake up at 4:30, 5 o'clock just to get to schools that because of the traffic or because it's too far. And what will happen now is we can actually program it so that our kids, the children, can wake up at a later hour, allowing them to have the healthy full number of sleep. Because even teenagers, they've
yeah,
done the study that teenagers who go to school later sleep longer, have better emotional stability and then disposition. So I'm all for your proposals, David, and please do let us know if there are new developments or if you fine tuned, like what will be the cost or savings to government,
yeah,
etc. In the days to come. But great idea,
yeah.
and I hope the people watching will support the idea, David.
Great, great, great. Again, Cito, thank you. Like earlier with architect, 15 minutes is not enough to do this, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to compress as much as possible how to say it in a very layman's term,
Okay.
because the
Well,
solution is actually very layman. You
okay.
know, uh,
Thank you very much, David. And go do have a nice day and stay in touch.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lito and Asito. And basically, I hope one day we are not only looking at solutions that are band-aid, but looking forward to a solution that will make us really world class. And we
Okay.
can, and we can.
And
So
we
thank
will.
you again.
Okay. Thank you, David. And that's our friend David Lim, of president of My Solid Tech. And those are very interesting points for President Duterte, Secretary Briones, and Congress to consider, because it's not just a temporary solution, it is a proposal that could propel us to a new way of doing things, a public broadcast system, a knowledge exchange center, and democratized education and information dissemination that is not propaganda, that is not government fed, but really high class, high quality. Who knows? We could be better than Singapore if we just put our minds to it. Thank you for joining us today. That's agenda on June. June, what is it today? 24, 2020. Thank you very much. Have a good day.